Hey guys, it's Shelby Yonner here, Publicity Director at Zilker Media. Welcome to this edition of the Community Builders Series. I'm here with Kate Henrichson. She's a personal trainer and the longtime owner of Jazzercise Austin Recreation Center. Welcome. Jazzercise is actually celebrating its 50th year this year, which is amazing. And so what an amazing community that has been built and just perfect for the Community Builders series. So Kate, again, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in Jazzercise.
Well, thank you for having me. I started with my mother and my grandmother when we were living in Edinburgh, Texas, down in the Rio Grande Valley, and my grandmother actually took my mother and I to our first class. And I've just been taking classes ever since. My mother became an instructor in 1987 and taught for 23 years. I taught for a bit in college, and then after college I moved back to Austin, and I was subbing around town, and then the person that owned this class, Katie Gordon, she'd owned the class for 30 years and was ready to retire, and it was just perfect timing for me to step in and take over.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like everything aligned just perfectly.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the history of Jazzercise being here at the Austin Recreation Center.
So the class started here in 1979, and well, at the original building, which now we are in the new building, which was built in the early 80s. But we've been here for 40 years. So we're celebrating 40 years at this rec center, along with the 50th of Jazzercise. So it's really exciting. And the class, I mean, it's just pretty amazing. It speaks a lot to the community of this class that it has been here so long. We used to have 9 classes a week, and now we have 22 classes a week, and we offer all different types of formats, and we do personal touch, which is small group personal training. We do traditional jazzercise, and we do just all the formats. So it's really great.
That's awesome. And we were talking before we started, and you said there are people who have been coming to class here who have been coming for 30 years.
Yes, and there are people that have been jazzercising that long but have come from other places.
Yeah.
And that's fun too, because that's one of the things about jazzercise is the routines are the same.
Yeah.
So an instructor might put different songs in the set, so there might be different routines, but if you hear the same song in 2 different classes, it's always going to be the same routine to that song, and so it makes it really easy for people to transition between classes.
Yeah. Why do you think Jazzercise has been so successful over the last 50 years and continued to grow?
You know, I think that it is because, well, first of all, it is so fun, and it tends to attract a really friendly group of people, and everybody's really welcoming, and kind of like we were talking about how it's easy to bounce between classes because it's just kind of like friendly, fun, happy people everywhere you go. And it also tends to be not as intimidating as maybe, say, walking into a gym or, you know, something that is not as accessible to the everyday person. And we're so big in Jazzercise about everybody working at their own level, and also instructors are all trained to show modifications. Yeah. And I think that also there's a whole lot of extra things that happen, meaning people going to coffee after class, or people maybe going to dinner, and then also we do fundraisers as classes, and even across the classes. Like I know that the Austin locations will get together and do a fundraiser for, say, you know, like Alzheimer's research, or with Susan G. Komen. Yeah. And it's fun for people. Yeah. It's a way to get involved with a community.
Yeah. And that's what I say. You know, people who I work with at Zilker Media, we're so excited for me to come talk to you because, you know, I say like, I'm going to Jazzercise, it's so fun, and I'm like trying to get people to come with me. And I definitely agree, you are so great in class telling people to like do things at their own level, like modify, and, you know, the people who I'm in class with you, it is like a big range of like ages and different people, so I do think it's very accessible.
It is, and I love that when you have someone who's 20 and also someone who's 80 in class. And I think right now our target market is like 35 to 60 probably, but we have a whole lot of people outside of that range as well. And a couple years ago, for example, Jazzercise Worldwide did the Girl Force Initiative, which
I loved that.
Yeah, it was girls 16, well, kids really, 16 to 21 could take class free for the whole year.
Yeah.
And so our founder, Judy Shepard-Missett, she just wrote a book called Building a Business with a Beat, and she and her daughter, as well as her granddaughters now, they're all involved in the company, and they really felt passionately about getting young girls involved and bringing them into a supportive environment where they could exercise and feel strong and feel healthy, but also have fun, and it was safe. And I also think that a lot of Jazzercise classes, like one of the really big things that we promote is we don't have mirrors in our classes, and the instructor's actually facing the students. And I think that that makes people feel really comfortable. There's not a lot of pressure. And it's like, if you don't do the dance moves correctly, we don't care. I mean, it's like, yes, we want you to be safe, but we're just happy that you're there moving and having a good time.
Yeah, for sure. What do you say to people when they say something like, oh, Jazzercise, like that's still around?
For me, it's funny because it's always been such a big part of my life. And I know the company's stats, and I know that we've been this powerhouse company all along. But I usually just invite them to class because I just feel like, I want them to experience it and have fun. And more than anything, I guess I just think it's funny. Yeah. But it's also like when something's not really on your radar, it's like, I might not know that there's a new Star Wars movie coming out, but other people would think that that was crazy that I didn't know that. So for me, I'm like, how can you not know what Jazzercise is? But on the other hand, for me, it's an opening to invite them to class.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you continue to build the community of this Jazzercise program here at the Austin Rec Center?
Well, I think that a lot of it is that my heart and soul is in it, and I think that any class owner would tell you that. I mean, I work with some of the other class owners in Austin, and we all talk about that, like different ways to get people engaged other than just the exercise portion of it. For example, this year we're doing a referral program where we've partnered up with local businesses to donate gift cards to us, and when our existing customers bring in new customers, they might win a gift card to a local business. And then also there's the Fit Club, where when people attend 150 classes in the year, they get a shirt. And we also recognize milestones along the way to 150, and we recognize people in front of the class. And so I think there's a lot of that. So there's a lot of encouragement. But then there's also, like we talked about before, like going to coffee or going to dinner after class, as well as there's the fundraising aspect. And I try to do a fundraiser in our class maybe every other year. I know some classes do it way more often than I do, but that's really fun. And one of the things I love doing is the race warm-ups, because you teach a couple of routines, and it's a way to get in front of people who don't otherwise know about Jazzercise. But it's just, I think fun is the big thing. It's fun, it's supportive, and it always kind of warms my heart, like at the beginning of class when I see people come in and they're hugging each other. It's like lifelong friendships are made in Jazzercise, and I know that's not just our class, that would be any class would say that.
I saw that Jazzercise on Facebook, to celebrate the 50 years, has been doing like throwback pictures of like friends, so like people who've been doing Jazzercise for 40 years together, and they show a picture back then and now. Those are adorable.
They're really cute. I know, they're so cute, and I love that they're still doing it. I mean, I think it's great. I have friends that I've made through Jazzercise that, I've known them for 20 years now, and we still get together, and we still have dinner, and we're in touch, and it's a really supportive community, and I think, it starts because you have this common interest, like most communities do, but then it grows beyond Jazzercise.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you get involved in the Austin community outside of Jazzercise?
I feel like in a lot of ways Jazzercise is my impetus for a lot of things that I do, and it's taken me into a lot of different parts of the community. I do personal training outside of here. So, like right now I'm starting a new small group training class at a local senior center because I really enjoy working with seniors. And so there's that. Also, I have a daughter in elementary school. And so I think that just through volunteer opportunities at her school and getting to know the other parents, I'm involved that way. And also just much more simply, I know my neighbors where I live. I really value my relationships with my neighbors, and we notice when something's going on with each other, and I think that that has been really important to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of old school in a way, but I really love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that too. So what does community mean to you?
Well, I think that it's a group of people with a common interest or a common goal, and I think that it also means feeling supported by that community, by those other people. I think that's probably my most basic definition of it. But I think it's also a feeling, kind of like you feel like you've found your crew.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with not only my customers at Jazzercise and my instructors at Jazzercise, but also people at other classes and like the other class owners. So we have classes throughout Austin. And the Austin area, like into Cedar Park and Lakeway, and I think that anytime I go to another class or I get together with class owners from those other classes, I feel like instant connection with those people because they're part of my community, whether or not I see them regularly.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Kate. Again, love coming to your classes, love coming to sit down and learn more about your history and the history of Jazzercise here. If people want to come try out a Jazzercise class, how can they learn more info?
The easiest way to find us is to go to jazzercise.com and to the offers section of the website. There's also a search section on the website where you can put in your zip code either by work or by your home. And we're 78701, but I mean, like I said, there's classes all over the Austin area. And I hear that soon we're going to be launching Jazzercise On Demand, which I'm really excited about. So for anyone that is not in an area that has a class nearby, they'll be able to do it from home.
Yeah. I might have to power one of those up in the Zilker Media office. Make everyone do it with me over my lunch. Right. Well, thanks again, Kate.
Thank you so much.